Hey everyone, I know it's been quite a long time since I've been able to put out any content. That's mainly because, as much as I was able to prep and set up templates and such during the beginning of the pandemic, I have recently gotten back to being full time at the office, and, well, everything else just seems to be epically more complicated as this pandemic continues into what will be its second year, unfortunately. But I was able to secure a time slot and sit down with Orchid from the Guardians of Lore and Focused Fire Chat podcast. And she was gracious enough to accept my invite. We were able to talk, and we talked about all sorts of fun stuff. What you are listening to right now is an edited version of what was streamed live on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/hypersyntax, and I hope to be doing more of these live recordings in the future once I get my OBS to properly set up and behave the way I need it to. Hopefully that'll be in time for the next one, and once I get that set up, I hope to be able to set up even more properly created content. So, let's get into it.
Crosstalk, the unintentional transfer of signals between communication channels, a casual conversation.
Finally live. Oh my goodness, Orchid, you are of the most amazing patience. I just need to let you know. Yeah, the
I taught students
smiles.
for years. Patience is definitely something I have in spades. So
Oh, fabulous. It's just,
yeah.
uh, so I suppose I probably should have started this off with the proper intro of, oh, hello world, this is Video Game Crosstalk, episode 050. Ooh, milestone episode. Yeah,
Congratulations.
50. I've been doing this thing for like 5 years on and off with various. Oh, life is absolutely chaotic because I got the great idea of starting this podcast soon before my first son was born.
Oh,
Because, that's a great time to start something new.
right. I mean, if you're to start something, do it right before your child is born. Because that's when you have a lot of time.
Yeah, it's like my last hurrah. I was blogging and doing a bunch of other stuff for years prior to, and I finally got up the nerve to actually do a podcast back then. I was like, yes, I'm going to do this. It's going to be awesome. And oh, great timing. Good job, idiot. So, so that's great. Oh, and I just shut down my show notes. There we are. Yes, Video Game Crosstalk, the basically the semi-monthly, semi-occasional now podcast of gamers talking tech, science, and whatever else comes to mind. I'm your host, Anthony Rossi, and with me this episode is tree scientist and co-host of not one but two Destiny lore-centric podcasts, Orchid. Oh my God.
Hello.
Hi, Orchid.
Hi. Hi. Hello.
So thank you so much for joining me. And this has been a long time coming. Wow. So I checked my podcast stats while I was getting this all set up, and apparently I have not put out an episode in like 3 months. It's been painful.
It's okay. Neither have we for Focus Fire Chat. So whatever. We match.
Fabulous. Fantastic. It's weird. So my day job, I started off the plague with like 60% work from home, 70% work from home, 30% in the office. And
Mhm.
just like everyone else, I was able to explore a bunch of my other hobbies and stuff. And that's
Mhm.
where I got a lot of my YouTube stuff kind of like finalized and templates were made. It's like, hey, I can actually do this stuff now. But the way things have shaken out, and like the real reason why I haven't put out an episode in so long, is that in order to make things work between life and everything that goes along with it, I go to the office. Now, I'm going to start complaining about my hours, and I understand, and we'll get into what your insane work hours are in just a bit. But I've been getting up at like 5 o'clock in the morning
That's about
to,
when I get up.
yeah, to get into the office. And just before I started this up, I just put my second son to bed, my eldest son. So it's like, okay, it's 8:30 ish. I finished dealing with the house, everything else that needs to be done, and go, 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 go.
Yep.
That's
I
about it. I
I
got,
understand that.
yeah, yeah, I get enough time to like do an hour or so, 2 hours if I'm feeling there have been times where I've done, gamed until 11 o'clock at night, and I've paid for it the next morning. Oh, long gone are the days of 2 a.m. gaming, 3 a.m. gaming.
I streamed until 3 a.m. last night,
I saw that in Discord.
and I was up until 4, and I woke up at 6 for
Oh,
work.
how you
I'm
feeling?
tired. I'm tired. I've gotten about 2 hours of sleep like every single night the entire week, and
Oh
that's like pretty
no.
much like what I subsist on lately.
Oh no.
So I just like crash really hard at the weekend and just sleep a lot if I'm
Oh,
not
beautiful.
working,
Oh, beautiful.
except like last weekend when I was working all weekend.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Alright. So, also, people will notice that I have yet another different, setup layout for my video aspect of this. I'm trying to figure this out. I had everything working, like, beautifully at, like, 11 o'clock this morning because I, was able to take one of my holiday floaters today.
Nice.
And it was great. I got so much
Ugh.
stuff, so many backlog things done around the house, and yes, getting ready for this show was one of them. But of course, once I tried to put the final little bits and pieces together, everything explodes.
Of course. That's how it is supposed to work, obviously.
Obviously.
Mhm.
Oh my goodness. So this is what we're gonna deal with. Everyone's gonna be able to see the show host dashboard view of Zencaster now, and this is my first time using their video chat application. So it's working. It's working pretty well. I'm seeing like no choppiness in your video. I'm
Oh,
seeing no
good.
choppiness in my video, which is a huge plus for many obvious reasons, but one in particular, about a month or two ago, I bought a bunch of those Google Home nodes. So rather than like a standard router and a network extender, I now have like a mesh network in the house,
Mhm.
and it's working. So yay for that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, because this is kind of an older house and there's a lot of like metal pipes in the walls. So where this office is on the second floor, I used to get really spotty signal strength. So even the audio only would kind of blank out on me on occasion. So the fact that I've got a video chat going right now with no issues is amazing. It's amazing. So yeah, that's all the craziness that I've got going on. What have you been up to lately?
Working.
Mhm.
Working, podcast stuff, streaming. It's pretty much all I do.
Okay. So what were you
Playing a
streaming
lot of
last night?
Halo.
Got
I
the
was
Halo going.
streaming Osu. It's a
What
rhythm
is
game.
that?
It's a rhythm game. It's
Rhythm
my
game?
favorite game.
Really?
Yeah, it's my
S-
favorite game.
So what's the style of this?
There are a bunch of different modes in
Hmm.
Osu. There is a circle clicky mode where you use like a Wacom tablet and a pen. And yeah,
Okay.
uh-huh. So I mean I could just I have my Weeb tablet cover on mine.
Okay. Very nice. Very nice.
It's mostly because my tablet's got like chips in it. So I have a cover on mine to mitigate all the chips since my tablet's old.
Okay.
Because you want to minimize all of the input lag. as much as possible.
Oh yeah, I can imagine.
So
Yeah, with rhythm games. Yeah.
after Wacom CTH 480s, they started putting smoothing into the tablet, like hardware itself.
Okay.
And those are terrible garbage.
Oh
So
really?
the CTH 480 and earlier are considered really good, but they're old and they're hard to find. So everything
Ah,
you find is used. So the used ones are very expensive because everyone knows those are the good ones.
really?
So
So
they're still $100-something if you find one and they're not in good condition.
and you're gonna
So
pay if you want it.
I have a second one just in case.
All right, good. Backup, redundancy, contingencies. I love it.
I know.
We're gonna keep that one nice and pretty and set to the side, just like you got it.
Yeah, but I mean, like my pen is wrapped in like tennis racket, like wrapping stuff because it slides out of your hand really easily.
Oh really?
Yeah, because you're like flinging your pen all over the place. So you're essentially jumping and running around, following circles all over the place,
Okay.
like
And
trying to hit them in time in rhythm. It's
okay.
like an aim trainer. It's like an aim trainer for weebs. Is essentially what it is.
Okay.
It's a lot of like
So how do you
making music.
so how do you spell this? Because I'm taking notes right now.
OSU exclamation point,
Okay.
all lowercase. And it's free. Everything is free.
Oh nice.
You don't have to pay for it.
Okay.
You can get supporter, which is like $29 a year, which helps support all the servers.
All right.
But you don't have to. All of the beat maps are done by other players, and it's all like very popular music. So it's just like it's the DMCA the game if you want to stream it. But they also have Taiko. Taiko is a very popular game in Asia. So like
Okay.
the number of times I've been there, and if you go in the big arcades in like Japan, Malaysia, Thailand are the three like major places I've been to,
hmm
and China, like the fourth one, and they all have these like taiko machines. So they have these big drums, and they have like red and blue circles, and that tells you where to hit on the drum in the machine.
Okay.
And it's the same game. They have a similar game on Nintendo. So I think it's Taiko no Tatsujin, I think is the name of it on Nintendo, but they have the same Taiko game on Osu. And I think they have similar ones elsewhere. They also have a Mania games, like a keyboard game that's kind of like a DDR game
Okay.
with like the scrolly screen.
One of those. Yep.
They have a fruit catching game. We don't talk about that one. That's like the weird, like redheaded stepchild. It's just, we don't talk about it.
Okay.
It doesn't exist.
I haven't done the rhythm games in so long. But I used to have so much fun. Mainly just the Guitar Hero.
I
That
love Guitar Hero.
I had parties at my old apartment for Guitar Hero because I lived in the middle of downtown, and it was just a one bedroom, total bachelor pad, uh, and one of the walls was just like this big blank white wall, and I had an old projector, so I mean at this time it was Xbox 360,
Right.
and the resolution on the projector was pretty much crap.
Mhm.
But when you've got a 10-foot diagonal for your screen
Oh yeah.
and you're playing Guitar Hero, we're not looking for fidelity here.
Really aren't. No. Yeah. I love Guitar Hero. That was one of my favorite games when
So
I was
much fun.
younger. Yeah.
So,
I still have my guitar.
do you?
Mhm.
Do you have it close by?
It's in the cabinet.
It's in the cabinet. Okay.
Still works.
I had mine. I think I finally got rid of it, but when I brought it to one of the local game shops, they just looked at it and went, "No."
That's too bad because like they'll pay a lot of money for working ones. And that's why I won't sell mine because it still works.
Oh,
So,
good.
yeah.
All right. You weeb. Love it.
Yeah.
Embrace it. I recently joked with some friends of mine at the office that I talk about my gaming stuff with, and I've been playing so much of the Yakuza series.
I love those games.
I didn't know I was a weeb until I started playing Yakuza.
Yakuza 3 is Pretty Princess. It's the best one out of all of them. How do you
Um,
not love that game? Oh my
oh,
gosh, you get to dress all of them up and make them so pretty, and then you get to like have them date other people. Oh my gosh, I love that
it was
game.
so I actually really enjoyed that version of the Hostess Club.
I love that game.
Like, I felt really weird. It's like, you know, mid to upper 30s, suburban dad, just like playing dress up with anime girls. But
No, it's
that
so
mini game was
good.
really good.
It's so good. It was better than the mini games. I think in the rest of them, it's so good.
Yeah, it definitely is. And it's like the first one was one of the free PlayStation games.
Hmm.
And I was like, I've heard about it. It seems to have like this cult following kind of thing. So I'm like, all right, I'll give it a try. And it was the most amazing, ridiculous cross blend of amazing, gritty underworld crime drama. So well written. The
Mm,
main campaign is so amazingly complex with the multiple storylines, and it works. And in the end, things all wrap up together. And it is flanked immediately on either if you deviate from that campaign, ridiculousness
yeah.
of
Yeah. No,
of
it's
the
good.
most wonderful kind. So I've been playing a
Hmm.
lot of that. I've played up through 5. I just completed 5 recently. And in my backlog, I still have 6 and Like a Dragon sitting on my shelf. I also recently picked up, since I finally got a PlayStation 5 a couple months ago, finally, I picked up Ghost of Tsushima. So I need to work my way through that. That is coming to PC, I believe.
Is
I
it?
believe, yes, Sony's been pushing some of their exclusives to PC. So I believe Ghost of Tsushima and Horizon Zero Dawn, the Horizon franchise, is coming to PC. Yeah, I highly suggest both of those. I wasn't expecting Horizon Zero Dawn to be as good as it was. Like, I think in a previous episode or two. No, in several previous episodes, actually, I talk about how I mocked the crap out of that game. Because I thought the entire premise was ridiculous and stupid, like ridiculous in a bad way. And then I played it, and the story actually made sense, and
It's really good.
it became plausible. So I got Like a Dragon, Ghost of Tsushima, and from another used game shop, I picked up Persona 5. And I'm just looking at my backlog and saying, like, I'm not a weeb. I swear I'm not a weeb.
Persona 5 is the weebiest of all the games.
It
How are
really,
you not when you have that game in your cart? Oh my god.
I need to just start accepting it at this point.
Yeah.
I need to
You really
stop,
do.
really to stop fighting it.
Jeez.
It's going to be so great once I finally get to it, though.
And it's
So,
funny.
and then to make it worse, I'm just going to keep digging myself in this hole. To make it worse, I decided I want to take a break from a bunch of other games and, again, attack my backlog. So I loaded up Sleeping Dogs, and then I realized another great
Sleeping
game.
Dogs is so good. It has dress up in that game too. How much face do you have? Do you have 10 face? Do you have full
Oh,
face?
no,
Do you
I
have
don't
all
have
the
10 face.
face?
Not yet.
How do you not have 10 faces in that game? That's like the
I'm
first thing you
working
should
on
do is
it.
get all the face.
I'm working on it, all
Okay, I
right?
have to tell you, there is a real life application for that game. Let me tell you a story.
I'm
I
listening.
work for a Chinese company.
Okay.
And yeah, I work for a Chinese company. Hear me out. And so I am pulled into a meeting with executives and like people from another company. They are also from a Chinese company, and they're like, "Oh, you do anime? Come into our meeting where they speak Mandarin." I'm like, "That's racist, but all right."
Okay.
Not even the same language, guys, but all right. Like, do you see where this is headed?
Yeah, I think I do.
But I read a lot of garbage Chinese web novels. It's one of my favorite things to do. I'm not even joking.
So do you speak the language?
Very, very little Mandarin. I can
Okay.
understand.
Oh,
Do I speak it? No. Do I understand it? A little bit.
just a little bit. Okay.
A little bit.
Okay.
I've been to China a few times. The 2 times ago I was there, I bought an erhu, which is like a Chinese violin that you put on your lap.
Okay.
And I had to navigate that not in English, so I was very proud of myself.
Oh boy.
I'm like, look, I bought a thing. Look,
Look,
mom.
look.
Look, mom, I didn't get screwed over and I bought an instrument. Yes. I can also usually buy food and like not die. So
Okay, good.
I'm gonna call that a win.
That
But so they pulled me into this meeting and like they wanted me there for their understanding of like who has face and who doesn't, because I have an innate understanding of face from playing video games
so
and reading like Chinese novels.
okay, hold up, because I just assumed that
Face is real. No,
face
that
is
is a
real.
thing.
That's a
That
thing.
is real. That is a thing.
Okay, because
That is not fake. That is real.
okay, so my initial understanding, which is now about to be just been stated to be false, was that the game has three leveling systems. You got your
Mhm.
triad, you got your cop, and then you have your face, which I just assume was just like general experience levels.
Face is a thing in China.
So
It's not a numerical level, but it is a thing. Let me
it is
explain
a
it
thing.
to you. It's
Yeah,
very
yeah,
hard to
gotcha this.
explain. Face in China is like your outward appearance, and everything in China is about your outward appearance because, like, although they're a communist country, like, it's more about like what you exude,
Okay,
especially in like the upper echelons. So people will be homeless and live in a Bugatti. Like, that's
really?
about having face. And
Okay,
it's all about like all about like who you are seen with. It's literally
wow.
like if you're at a party and you're seen with someone who doesn't have like the face, like your face goes down. Like it's all about appearances and and it's all about like giving face to somebody else. So if like you have more face than someone else, so you're giving them more face by being seen with them. Or it's all like
So it's all
it's a
like
whole thing.
like the popularity,
Yeah.
how what you exude, how you're perceived is
Yes.
like very heavily okay.
Oh
And
yeah.
this is
And
one of
it's
those
all
things.
about like it's all about labels and clothing and like how nice your bag is and how nice how nice your shoes are and how nice your car is and like
And I thought
that is
Americans were
all a part of
superficial.
it. Oh no 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 no.
Okay,
You know nothing.
just
it's
ask
a
my wife. Yeah, then we know
it's a
this is true.
thing.
Okay.
It's a whole thing.
Oh, see, and this is where I need to like
But
remind myself that I am the outsider. Okay.
for companies, for example,
Mhm.
our company, I had a project where we were going to start running unbleached sawdust pulp. We don't do that. That's not a thing we do
Okay.
where I work, because we make paper and we make pulp, but we don't do unbleached sawdust. Like that's ludicrous. Why would anyone buy that? The answer is nobody. Like
Okay.
that's not a product anyone wants. But for a while there was an embargo on shipping bleached products into China because they have their own bleach plants, and it was something about Clo 2, and I don't really understand like what the actual reason was.
Mm,
But so our company was trying to get around that by shipping the unbleached sawdust. So
okay.
they were going to another company and saying, "Hey, do you want to buy this? We're willing to send you a bunch of this product that we don't have and we've never run on our dryer before, but you know, like the head of our QA department will make a bunch of these by hand for you."
Hmm.
It took me like a month to make enough because they wanted like almost like 50 kilograms of it.
Okay. All right. If that's
And no, they're because our company's like heads found out about it and we're not giving them face, they shut the project down.
oh my goodness. That's insane. That's intense. Wow. Okay. So I
So my
just
boss didn't understand why. She's like, well, I don't know why. They just said like we can't do it for them. I'm like, it's because we're not giving them face. She's like, what does that mean? I'm like, I just told you we're not giving them face. That's a really good explanation. How do you not understand that?
so this the next time I fire this game up, this is going to take on a whole new meaning for me.
Yeah, it's like a whole thing.
It's a
And
whole,
I thought it was too until I started reading Chinese novels
and that's like
that are translated into English.
because
Poorly, by
like
the way, is not
well,
translated well. Oh my god. There's a lot of like, are you sure that's what that means?
yeah, I've run into that a few times. We had a exchange student in my college days, and there were certain expressions that he thought they meant one thing, and it was
Oh
hilariously wrong.
no.
And
Oh
we
no.
like he handed in part of a group project, and
Oh
we
no.
all had to like go time. We need to talk.
Oh no.
I will send you that story in our Discord chat. Not.
Yeah. I mean, one of my favorite
Because
books is,
go ahead.
yeah. I don't know. It's one of my favorites is Trial Marriage Husband Need to Work Hard. That's the name of the book.
Okay.
Yeah, just run with it. Like that should set the bar where they are.
All right.
Just use your imagination.
Okay, so we are already a good ways into this. Let's get into the episode a little bit more proper. So, the first thing I do in these episodes is we are going to nerd out on some of the science stuff now. So, as I said in the beginning, mentioned you have described yourself as a tree scientist in certain Discord.
That was
So,
not the name I gave myself. That was the name other people gave me.
all right, so tell me, so because I know you be a nerd. I
I do be nerd.
You do be nerd. I have
I
seen
do be
references.
nerd.
We can smell each other. All right.
We have an odor about us.
It's like, yeah, a friend of mine once put it where like he just looked out a guy at a party and said like, yeah, he rolls
Mm-hmm.
dice.
Yeah.
So what do you are you allowed to discuss your day job?
I can do it in like general
Sure.
terms. But I have a PhD in forestry and soil science.
Okay.
So I guess that makes me a tree
But
scientist-ish.
my wife is a dirt person. She has her PhD in
A
geology.
dirt person.
Wait,
We
we
can.
actually talked about this a while ago. I've
That's
gone to
right, we
GSA.
did. Yeah, we both got. Yeah, we were talking about getting drunk at GSA because that's what it's for.
Yeah,
I remember
was.
now. Okay, yeah, GSA is for drinking. I don't care what anyone else says.
Yeah, I was my wife's arm candy.
That's
Going
right.
to
We were talking about that. How you were the arm candy at
yeah,
GSA.
I would go and I'm like, I don't understand anything of what's going on. It's like it's okay. Just ask them to explain it to a non-geologist. You'll be fine.
They love
And
doing that. That's their favorite.
yeah, well, it was good practice, as I am told, particularly for the students, that it is good practice for them to just work on their pitch, to work on their discussion
Yep.
skills. Yeah, can you explain what you do?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I don't know what you're
Pretty much. Yeah.
So,
It's kind of
so what was your
yeah.
research in?
My research was in the chelating of heavy metals out of forest soils.
Okay, so I can
Um,
kind of keep up with that, but for the non-geologist, for the
how
non,
can I describe it? I had a really good description of it somewhere. That was actually like a good description. I'm trying to think of it. Okay. So the like chelating makes things available to plants. So like imagine you have like an iron
Mhm.
and the plant is hungies. And so the iron is, so the plant's like, me hungry.
Mm-hmm.
But the soil's like, no, this is my iron. Off. But the chelating agent comes around and is like, hey plant, I got you. It's okay. And so it takes the sticky out bond and goes and now the plant wants, like, it can now like free flow in the water.
Okay.
So it's the kind of the organic agent of like the chelating agent is now like around the iron, because it essentially like launches around the iron.
Okay.
And now it can like flow about in the water and go wee. And so now the plant can like suck it up, and it can like easily break down the chelating agent. Like that's no big deal.
Okay. So it is dealing with, if I may paraphrase this for the layman, it has to do with nutrient absorption of the plant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much. But it was like, how well are metals absorbed in like actual like forest soils with like certain kinds of trees?
Okay. So,
and it is over like a set period of time. Like my research took place over like 50-year period. And so I just,
you look so young.
I know, thank you. I moisturize. I took it from one person and then was passing it along to another person. And it also had to do with like leaf litter. There were like other aspects to it too.
Okay.
Because it had to do also with like addition and subtraction, like into the soil. Okay. There were other smaller projects in with it. Unfortunately, it all burned down.
Oh no.
Yeah, we had big forest fires here last summer.
Oh yeah, those are
2 summers ago.
I hear they're all the rage now. Like all the forests are having the fires these days.
I know. So two summers ago, so before COVID started, we had really, really bad fires in September. And
I remember that, actually.
Yeah. We talked about it on Guardians of Lore. We had like a little tiny episode. But yeah, my house almost burned down. That was cool. She says, awesome. She says, remembering having flashbacks of packing her up and running away. Oh, but yeah, so all of my research burned down. That was great. Hooray.
Okay.
Neat. All that work, it's gone now.
All gone. It all gone.
All gone. It's dead to me.
So were you like finding any trends before everything burnt down? Like it was still in the earlier phases?
Kind of. It was kind of in the middle. Not really. I don't know. It was part of a larger project that I hadn't really started. I just was kind of put into it. My advisor was kind of a
so there's that.
I was not warned about her when I started my project. There's a lot of
moving on. So
things I don't want to say.
Yeah.
That I shouldn't say.
Well, that's no fun.
It was a good experience that I learned a lot about. She says with dead eyes.
Because that's what you're supposed to say, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I know that. So
I had to argue with my committee to even get things signed. Like I almost didn't finish.
Jeez.
It was really the nice kind of stuff. So I don't really work in that area because like I don't feel like I should, because it was like so tenuous.
Oh boy.
I just like, yeah. And then there's also the whole like, I am offered more jobs if it's not even on my resume.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, so be it. All right. So aside from
women in science.
I'm sorry.
Sad.
Well, as I mentioned, I was my wife's arm candy at GSA. Do you have Do you have fond memories of GSAs?
I love GSA.
Okay,
GSA
let's talk about that. That's happier. Okay.
Well, it was nice. Unfortunately, it's in San Francisco, which is where I'm from. So yeah, so whenever I went with my friends, they'd be like, "Hey, take us to all your hangouts." I'd be like, do you want to see my parents' house? I mean,
Aw.
we could just go home. Like, it's down the street. Just went down the street, go see my parents. So I've
Emma,
brought many people home to my parents' house. My parents have made food for them before, and they have slept on my like parents' floor.
because of
So
because that's what parents do, and I'm already like foreseeing that with my boys are 2 and 5 right now, and I'm already like prepping myself like, what am I gonna make these kids when they come over? Because inevitably, being a younger brother myself, I have an older brother. The only way my parents fed us was being of Italian descent and just copious amounts of pasta. That's
my
the
mom made
only
us
way.
spaghetti.
That's the only way that she could have, because we both ran distance track, like endurance
Oh,
track. Yeah, the only way. It was just like buy stock in whatever pasta maker was around. All the carbs, all the
oh my
carbs.
gosh. Oh my gosh. It sounds so good though.
Oh, so yeah. Oh, I loved it. That's also kind of the reason why growing up in the area that I live in upstate New York, was heavily settled by Italian immigrants back in like ye old stereotypical Ellis Island days. Like my dad
Mhm.
came through Ellis Island.
Wow.
Oh yeah, they like during. So I am the second son of my dad's second marriage. So he actually was born in this rural speck of a commune in Italy. I'll give you a second to process that. I'm looking
That's
at you.
so
Oh
cool.
yeah,
But
like
also, what?
oh yeah. Oh, no, my dad was a tobacco farmer for the Italian government in the like late 1930s, early 1940s.
What?
He went to a stereotypical one-room schoolhouse where he told me like the grades were set up in what row you sat in the schoolhouse.
I mean, that makes sense.
Hmm. And like so having conversations with my father was like really difficult as I more and more embrace my inner nerd, because I was like trying to go off and find like all this like sciencey stuff, all the tech stuff, all that. And my dad was ridiculed by his grandfather growing up because there was so much work to do on the farm. Why are you going to school? He only made it to fifth
Um,
grade before his parents pulled him out of school to race tobacco for the Mussolini regime. Yeah. Uh,
that's so sad.
where was I
Wow.
going? I just went off on this
I
massive
don't know,
tangent.
but that's really cool though. I had no idea.
Oh, pasta. Yeah. So in my town, we have all the alphabet soup names that all end in I. All like so many Italians. We have pizza places like
Chef
Seattle.
Boyardee.
You do not speak such things in my presence. So,
That's the only Italian I speak in my house.
and I never understood like the rest of the world's or the rest of the general United States infatuation with Italian food. Like if you're watching a TV show and they say like, "Oh, we're going out for Italian tonight." Oh, molto bene.
Ooh.
And I'm like, it's Tuesday. Like
Ooh.
my
Normal
dad,
food.
yeah, I'm
Ooh.
like it's there's tons that I don't get it. So yeah, the pasta thing growing up is, my dad would make a stock pot yay tall of sauce. The way that he made it, he would put in the crushed tomatoes, the tomato paste, and then he would fill the rest of it with like chunks of beef, cut up sausage, meatballs, and he would simmer that for like 6 hours. So like let all the juices meld it. Oh yeah, yeah.
That sounds so
Uh,
good.
oh yeah. So that's my experience with Italian food. It's like we didn't do the anything fancy. There was nothing cosmopolitan in my house. It was all like the very rustic stuff.
It sounds so good.
Yeah, it was. It was. But we need to get back on track, man. This is gonna. If I don't
This
stay on
is
track,
fun. Whatever. I'm having a good time.
good.
We don't have to be on track. This is the podcast, man. Just let
Man.
it happen.
I'm trying to get away from my 2-hour episodes, though. And I've been doing good keeping them to an hour, but that's the way that podcast goes. So too many thoughts at the same time.
I have
Joined
really
a
bad ADHD, so
Oh,
just
we're doomed.
we're
We're
doomed.
doomed. When people try to get into podcasting,
All the
I've told
dopamine,
them,
man.
yeah, like I've talked to them, like, how do you stay on track? I'm like, you don't.
You
And
don't.
and when you do a podcast, like, don't write out a script. I have no idea how people do overly produced or overly scripted podcasts. I just don't get it.
I have a story for you later.
Okay. The office that I work in, they've started doing their own like internal podcasts or attempting it, and it's as overly corporate and sanitized as you would expect it to be. But what's hilarious to me is that they are so blatantly scripted that they have these scripted banter. You know what I mean?
Hey, Jan.
Wow, that's a great question. Let me get back to you on that one.
Please.
Like, no. Podcasts are conversational. You script nothing. The show
You can
notes.
tell when it's scripted
It's
and they're
so
having that
easy.
banter, and it hurts me.
It's so obvious. Like my show notes, throw up the air quotes there, is an outline. And that is just so that we have something to talk about during the show, that we have actual topics and articles and something to, have something about.
Oh
That
yeah, I
is
forgot that you even made this.
Oh.
Sorry. Oops.
Oopsies.
Oh.
Nah, it is strictly there for us to just like, hey, here's some stuff worth talking about. If we get to it, cool. If not, meh. But so speaking of podcasts, I'm going to keep this going a little bit as best as I can. No, you've got 2 of them going on.
Technically 3.
Okay, so what's
Because Destiny Lore audio file is technically a podcast.
Indeed.
Technically.
How's that latest episode coming?
It's a lot of editing.
Is it?
Yeah, I don't have everyone's audio yet, so I'm still
Oh, for
like
the love of
I'm still waiting for everyone's audio, but I can get a bunch of stuff done. Riddle does all of like the magic-y stuff.
Mhm.
I can just clean things up. I don't trust myself to do magic stuff. I do a lot of listening to it and then criticizing him and then making him change it. That's my job.
The final result is absolutely amazing. So I
I
have
produce
been,
everything. He's the magic.
he does the magic.
Yeah, I just am producer.
Hey, it's work. Whatever is getting done on the backside, it
Yeah.
is working. So Destiny Lore audio file. I know I've mentioned this a few times, and it has been a heck of a ride. It started off, Green started it off, and it was just basically audiobook, straight reading, single narrator for the lore books found within the game of Destiny. And it worked. But life is what it is, and Green got overwhelmed with things. And then you and Rindle took it over?
She gave it to me, and
Good
then
deal.
I said, "Hey, Rindle, do you want to edit this?"
Help!
I said help. I said, "Hey, do you want to edit this?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, okay, cool."
Oh, yeah, sure.
Because I'm
Nice.
like, "I have a vision," and he's like, "Cool, let's do it."
All right,
And
let's
so
do
that's what happened.
Nice.
Yeah.
And we have gone from just a single narrator reading a book to it is a full-blown audio drama. It is the Destiny lore books turned into an audio drama. Would you?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. We have in future books, we have Anubis and Tej from Rooster Teeth coming on to act with us, and some other people. I'm really excited.
Oh my gosh, that was so cool. Yeah.
So It's gonna be fun.
The last one that was produced or released, was that Captain's Log
Yeah.
with Callus and Katabasis?
Hmm.
Uh, Once again, I mean, I know I said it in our little Discord, but the reader who did the ghost,
Oh, that was Chuck.
Chuck, amazing mental breakdown. I lament for Chuck's brain because I don't know what dark place they went to to get that level of hysteria towards the end, but I am thankful for it, and I am thankful for the art that it produced.
Chuck is a professional voice actor who does Termino with me, and I'm the voice actor producer for Termino. So I produce all of the voice
Okay,
actor stuff for them. So I'm their producer.
so you
So
all over the place.
that's how I met all of the voice actors and pulled them into this. Because I'm like,
Okay,
hey guys, do you want to do this thing with me? And they're like, okay.
hell yeah.
I'm slowly pulling them all over. There's like about 30 of them.
Oh,
So
really?
I just have to keep working on
So I have heard, is it Termino?
Termino. Yeah.
Termino? Okay, so I
Yeah.
heard about that when it
Termino.
was first
Yeah.
starting up. What?
Hmm.
Tell
We're
me
still
about it.
working on it.
Okay.
Termino is it's a machinima project.
Okay.
That we have a bunch of actually like vaulted planets that we did a bunch of like recording on.
Hmm.
So it'll be cool because it's a bunch of vaulted stuff that you
Yeah.
can't see anymore. That we have like we did stuff from like Crown of Sorrow.
Okay.
And so there's a bunch of stuff from that. There's a bunch of stuff from Menagerie.
Oh, Menagerie.
Um Menagerie is so
Oh,
cool. There's a
I
bunch of stuff.
missed that.
There's stuff from IO. There's stuff from a bunch of vaulted Crucible maps.
Okay.
And there's Leviathan stuff, I think, that we have a bunch of scenes from Leviathan.
So
Um
it's more. So, what is the vision for Trimino?
Termino's vision, it's kind of like a as much as I can talk about it,
Okay.
because I don't want
Understood.
it's it's a thing.
It's a thing. It's a
Yeah.
Destiny thing.
It's a
Okay.
Destiny thing.
That's it. That,
It's
no,
a
that's,
it's it's kind of the interaction between guardians and their ghosts and different factions of guardians and how they interact
oh, cool.
is as vague as I can make it
That, no, I get it. I
without
get it.
spoiling things.
It- okay, so we stop there.
Yeah.
We've mentioned Focus Fire Chat, so you got
Yay.
hmm?
Yay.
Yeah,
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 yay.
yay. So I actually had Green on several months ago.
Oh,
So
good.
it was so lovely, so lovely of a person. And
I
now I
love
got
green.
you, and you're so lovely. So now I need to get Blue on at some point. But yeah, he's not quite as active in the Discord, and I know he's been dealing with some stuff recently.
Well, he had a baby. Well, his
Yeah,
wife had a baby.
yeah.
They have an infant, and it was a
Oh,
preemie. And
take care of baby. Take care.
yeah,
Nope, nope, nope. Take care of baby.
so
The rest of us will be here. The rest of the community will be here. Take care of
yeah,
baby. And
they between his office, like the really bad storm that we had last winter, or at least in like the Midwest, had a really bad storm, and like pipe burst right above his office and flooded it
I heard
and
about that.
destroyed everything. And so fighting like all of the different contractors and the insurance people, and that took like 9 months. Like the entirety of his wife's pregnancy was like fighting contractors and like trying to get his office fixed. It was a nightmare. So by the time that finished, like Anna was having her baby because he wanted to get back into his office like right before she had her baby. But then she had her baby like right as he was moving his stuff in because the baby was early.
Take care of it, baby. Take care. I actually just
So,
had a conversation with someone on another Discord. How he's trying to get some projects together, but some life stuff just happened to him. And I was like,
mhm,
no, you put your side projects on hold. Take care of self because you need to be in a good place before you can expand on anything, or
yeah,
other you get overwhelmed very quickly.
mhm,
That happens. That definitely happens. But I'll get him
yeah.
someday.
He is very not in any Discord. He's only in DMs.
Hmm.
He's not even in our own Discord.
Inconsiderate.
No, he left our Discord and then wondered why we didn't notice for like 3 weeks. And I'm like, because you never typed in our Discord. Of course, I'm not going to notice that you left because you're
Here,
never online.
yeah,
Like,
here, let me go check the chat history.
let
Oh,
me
look,
go
nothing.
check and see if you're like in Discord. No, you're not. Like, you're never online. So I'm not going to see that you're not in Discord suddenly. Like, I don't see when you leave. Like,
Oh, dear.
we have our own like super secret sneaky chat, is what the focus fire chat like
Okay, gotcha.
DM is called. I don't know why we
You're-
call it that, but it is.
eh, we'll go with it.
I
We'll let
don't
that
know.
ride. I don't
We're
know
gonna
either.
try. We're doing like an episode a month now. And that's pretty much like as much as we can do just because of the holidays and baby
Oh,
and
yeah.
schedules. And Green has her own company
Hmm.
she's running, and that's just like a lot of work.
It
So
is. Yeah.
we're doing what we can.
Hmm.
Out of all of us, I'm the least busy. And that's saying something.
Is this Blue's first child?
Second.
Second child? Okay. Ah, he's fine.
Yeah. Minion is, I think, 6.
Okay.
Um,
All the cliches of the second child are
yeah,
true. Every single one of them. Every single one
really.
of them. Oh, it's terrible. It's like it really is. With your first child, you disinfect everything, and everything needs to be perfect or as close as you can get. My wife and I were a bit older when we had our first child, but we still like make sure this is sad. Make sure this is sad.
Mhm.
Number two comes around. It's like, are you dead? Then shut up. like there's not too much visible grime on whatever it is that he dropped on the floor. He can
Oh my
have it.
gosh.
It's fine.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
It really is. It's
Mhm.
you realize that while they are squishy and very temperamental,
Right.
they're
Yeah.
they're surprisingly durable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Surprisingly durable and resilient to a lot of things. So
Yeah.
they'll be fine. He'll be fine. He'll be fine.
Yeah.
So let's get into this one topic that in the show notes I have tagged as the main story. So this will be our tech discussion. Big name. What I have in the show notes is an article from Ars Technica. I love them because they
Mm.
can do like higher end stuff, but kind of like dumb it down to us dummies and to the common folk. But ooh, yeah, I'm looking at your facial expression. NFTs are going to be a big part of games' future.
I want to
So
throw something.
yeah, and one of the reasons why I put this on, I've been seeing NFTs thrown around all over the place. I really don't know exactly how they work, but I read up on a little bit, so I have a pretty good idea.
Okay.
You seem to be pretty competent in this, so go.
Uh,
What is an NFT and why do we hate them so much?
so they're collectible digital assets that hold value, just like physical art holds value. So like so do NFTs. So they're a lot like cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum, but they're completely unique, quote unquote.
Right.
And they can exchange like for like, which is where like non-fungible starts to make sense. So it's like I hate NFTs because they're like it's digital art. I'm like I can screenshot it and now it's not.
Yeah.
Like, make actual art. But if you want to, this is my problem because they're saying it's non-fungible because it's a part of the blockchain. So it is like technically its own thing because it has a digital trace on it. It is a unique thing because it has a blockchain like code on it.
Mm-hmm.
It has a location and you can trace it to its own, but
Whatever
at the
its
same,
origin.
yeah, wherever its origin is, but at the same time, it's like the problem is that like we don't know what the longevity of NFTs are.
Not even
And
close.
yeah, and so a lot of people are convinced that they're here to stay, especially with with Facebook's like metaverse popping up, which is a whole nother thing that I'm like, why would you name it that? Like, have you like,
Isn't
are
like
you doing this on purpose? Like, have you seen like
any sci-fi movie?
why would you name it metaverse? Like, that's what the bad people name it. Like, are you the bad person?
It is literally the same name. I read, what's it called? Snow Crash by Stevenson. I think that's his name.
Yeah.
And like every sci-fi universe, every cyberpunk, every futuristic fictional universe has a version of the metaverse, and it's always terrible.
Oh yeah.
Every
yeah.
single one is
Yeah.
terrible. And we're like, let's do it.
Yeah. But like in NFTs, there is the non-fungible token. That's like what NFT stands for.
Mhm.
So like in their like essentially pick crew bullshit, like garbage pixelated nightmare monkey, like yacht club monkey token art. I am so tired of like seeing like the yacht club monkey nightmare ape show up on Twitter. Like I want to I want to delete people whenever I see it because they're like, I bought this for $500,000. I'm like, are you made of dumb? I mean, cool, fine, whatever. And obviously, you just have way too much money to
That's what it's
know what to
seeming
do
to
with.
Yeah, that's what it's seeming to me. So is it
But
gonna
apparently, I don't know. It's just like there's a tiny little piece of data stored in every single picture.
Mhm.
Like that's attached to the blockchain. So it just establishes like proof of purchase.
And uniqueness, right? Like this
Yeah.
is a one of a kind file.
Yeah. So like my picture behind me, that's my symmetry painting that I got from a Resolute. There's a
Oh.
certificate on the back of it that
Okay.
says like I bought it from him and he signed it. And then if I sell it to someone else for whatever the price is that I sell it, that's like a certificate of I sold it now for this much money. And the proof of like the price has gone up or down depending on however much I sold it for.
Mhm.
So that's just like that is the digital, that's the asset proof
Mhm.
that I sold it for. It's the same kind of idea
Okay. So
that's
it's
attached to it.
it's really hard to see this not come into gaming. And who said that they were going to do it? Was it Ubisoft?
I think so. Let me look.
Yeah. So I have it open on my other screen. That was another thing I did today. Finally got the office set up so I can have my dual screen again.
Was it Planet Wars?
Maybe. EA. There we go. Oh, FIFA. Looks like they're getting ready to do it with FIFA.
Well, there was one
no.
game that was
Never
coming
mind.
out that was like fully based in blockchain.
Ah.
And with farm resources, expand your settlement and fight your enemies in the first play to earn game based on a revolutionary NFT concept.
Oh, dear God. It all sounds very much so like people with way too much money and they want to show it off. Are we going to bring this back to face?
I don't, kind of maybe. Like, I don't understand why they want you to have like an NFT in the game unless it's a way to buy a cosmetic.
That's what I'm thinking. And that's the only way I can see this happening and not just completely upsetting whatever balance may occur within the game. Because I cannot imagine well, I can't imagine, sadly, but like if they were to have a gun.
Mhm.
For sake of conversation, Destiny. There is someone made they decided to make a gun. It is going to be the only one in existence, and to get it,
It's
someone had
gonna
to
be
pay something
a
stupid.
Telesto sidearm. That'd
Right.
be amazing. I want it.
I mean, in some ways, I think it's kind of cool because, within games and game lore, there's like this one legendary item, this one whatever
Mhm.
helmet of arcane whatever.
Eyes Luna is coming back. It's
Yeah,
you can only have one. So,
but like there's only one in existence, so
yeah.
it kind of like makes sense, and we accept certain breaks in the reality or the universe where it's like uh Drifter saying, "Hey, that's the last word." No, there's only one last word.
Yeah.
Hand cannon in existence, but then it's like every Guardian has one.
Right.
I think the Viva La Dirt League actually did one of their skits on that, where like you come back from whatever amazing quest and you go to the quest giver. It's like this long sought after legendary amulet or whatever. There's only one, and I will bestow it onto you. And like the next player is behind them to complete that same quest, and he's like, uh. Precious amulet, only one in existence, type of thing. But if that item proves any type of advantage, like fan base is gonna rage really hard, really quick, right?
I can only see it happening for cosmetics, for things you buy in like the digital store. I can't see it happening for like I'm gonna buy this chair in Skyrim, like, and now this is my chair and no one else can have it. Like, but if you're
But
gonna buy a cosmetic and this specific cosmetic in your game is now yours, so now it's easily tied to your gamer tag, let's
mhm,
say. So now this NFT is tied to whatever blockchain is now tied to, like, I'm Burnished Orchid on Xbox. So now it's has Burnished Orchid attached to it.
mhm,
So now it can only go to my account and no other account can have it. So now when I go to a different Xbox, it's there because it's on Burnished Orchid.
got it.
I can see that. Like, so whenever I upgrade to a different Xbox or transfer to a different Xbox, or I'm streaming to like my phone and playing like in the cloud, I still have all my stuff because I'm just logged into my account.
Mhm.
Like, I can see that being a possibility, but other than that, I see no use for them.
Is anyone gonna care?
See, I don't
It's
know
a
if it's a status thing. Like, I see it more if they're actually going to use it as like a utility to be like, here's your stuff that you bought in Eververse. Because
Yeah.
it's not going to be a unique item. Everyone's going to have the same one. I think it's just unique based on like your account is attached to this item.
Mhm.
They can all look the same, but they're going to be unique solely based on the blockchain, not on how they look. So I think we're confusing like gaming NFTs and like
Mhm.
actual NFTs,
Yeah, because I
but
was
they're
expecting.
super bad for the environment though.
Are they?
Yeah, because like farming, like
Oh, so farming the crypto?
Ethereum,
Okay.
farming crypto is super bad for the
Yeah.
environment.
I never got into any of the cryptos. I know they exist. I know there's a whole wide variety of different cryptos out there. I actually first heard about Bitcoin in like '04, '05 in college. And
Mhm.
it was really weird. And one of my friends who were like super deep into the computing world told me about it. He's like, yeah, there's this like weird currency, Bitcoin, and it's super expensive. And basically, it's just traded on the black market for other illicit things. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, I'm just going to avoid this in all of its entirety. And then, like
Mhm.
10 years later, I was like, hey, have you ever heard of Bitcoin? Like, nope. But now it's being traded, farmed, and there's countless clones, duplicates, other crypto. I like Dogecoin. I think it was made just to troll
Yeah.
the other ones, but then they're
Yeah.
like, "Oh crap! It became a thing."
Mhm.
And
Pretty
it's
much.
is Ethereum the same thing? It's another cryptocurrency. Is
Um,
it?
Ethereum, they're all cryptocurrencies.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, sure, sure, guys.
Mhm.
Whatever rocks. Yeah. See, I don't know what the heck is going to come with these NFTs. I know I'm not going to be purchasing any of them in the foreseeable future, if at all.
Mm.
I mean, I've purchased a few cosmetic items with, the real money, but it's mainly like Destiny 2 has become my main game
Mhm.
because content continuously comes out for it. It's a
Right.
game that I'm familiar with, and I can drop it and pick it up with huge lapses in between and pick up right where I left off.
Right.
It's really convenient, oddly enough, for a very casual lifestyle because I can drop it, come back, and every franchise has its toxicity within its community, but
So true.
everyone does. Every single one does.
Yeah.
But Destiny I have found to be really nice, and I still think it's due to its inherent cooperative nature, particularly like
Yeah.
for the PvE. Like you have to
Mhm.
work together.
You
There is
have
no
to. Yeah.
there is no going through the open world and
Mm-mm.
spawn killing noobs.
Nope.
Like it's strictly Crucible. Strictly the
Mhm.
PvP, which is completely separate from everything
Yep.
else. There's no like, oh hey, there's a new guy who just joined or you just started the game. We're in the start game area. I happen to be in, but I'm going to go kill him because I'm a jerk. Like you can't do that. And what I've found mostly is that if a more veteran player sees a newer player, they're more apt to just help them with whatever they happen to be working on. Like if there's a bunch of low level characters and they're getting into their first public event, and you got that one super
Mhm.
guardian flying in from the
Yeah.
outside, like I got you.
Exactly.
So that definitely helps. And for that reason, yeah, I'll drop the $25, $50 gift card every now and again. It'll last me like a year or so because I want whatever that seasonal armor set is. Or
Yeah.
uh, I was playing with my brother one time. He lives down in Florida,
Oh.
and it was about this time. Well, it was getting closer to Christmas. Still hasn't gotten me anything yet, and we were looking through the Eververse store, and one of the seasonal emotes was really funny. So he's like, "You know what, dude? Check it. I'm going to send you $50 to your PayPal right now. You can take that, drop that into Eververse, go get that emote. Merry Christmas."
That's so nice of you.
so
Oh.
so I got me some emotes, got me some other things, and I don't.
Oh.
I, we'll give him that one. We'll give him that one.
Oh, that's so nice.
This is the same brother. I did post one of my Facebook interactions with him on the Discord. Oh, for my
Oh.
birthday.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, same
Okay.
brother. That's how we get
Okay.
along now.
That checks. My brother
So
and I are the same though, so
that's the way you get it.
that's my siblings are.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Uh, so I don't mind paying real money for the occasional cosmetic item. That's fine. But when I hear some of the ludicrous numbers for some of these NFTs, I can't be
I
bothered.
I can't I don't think stuff in game is gonna be $1,000. I can't imagine that's gonna be that way.
It's I could almost see it happening just because there's going to be someone or some crew of people who are going to have more money than they know what to do with. It's going to get up there.
Yeah,
Someone will buy it.
probably.
Some rich kid. I'm trying not to get too cynical, but We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. There's too much money to be made in it, is what I think. I think there's the potential for exorbitant income. Quick cash is the potential is too strong for companies to ignore it.
Yeah.
That's what I say. All right, so we are going to move on, excuse me, to the final section of this final segment of the podcast. We're going to get to questions, and we have one audience question, and it is actually from the Focus Fire Chat Facebook.
Oh. We have a Facebook?
You have a Facebook, yes.
I'm not on Facebook, so I wouldn't know.
Okay, so I posted this on all my socials, including Facebook, and Focus Fire Chat, because I tagged them in the post, asked this question.
Oh no.
If hemlock is poisonous and you are a paper chewer, how many magazine covers does one need to eat to cause damages to your liver?
Well, one, you shouldn't be eating magazine covers. It's a really bad idea.
Yeah, start with that.
He's saying that because it's glossy magazine covers are usually made out of Western hemlock because they lay really nice. Yeah.
Go on. So there's actual. This isn't just straight up trolling.
No,
there's actual information in here.
Yeah, because I've talked to Blue about this before. Blue and green.
I knew it was
glossy,
blue.
Yeah, it's blue and green. It's probably green actually.
Okay.
Glossy magazine covers are usually made out of Western hemlock because they lay really nicely in the paper maker.
Okay.
And they make really, really smooth paper, like especially for magazine covers, because when you coat them for glossy paper, hemlock is the nicest for coating. But it's a mix. It's not just hemlock. And every single paper maker has their own blend. And it's like a very secretive blend. And you don't tell anybody what it is. Because that's the point. That's why your paper is good. Because you've not told anybody what your blend is. That's what's so secretive. That's my job.
All right.
My job is coming up with blends for other companies.
So this is why you're unable to
literally
talk
what
about
my job. That's why I can't talk about what my job is, because my job is literally coming up with blends for other companies.
Oh my god!
So when I make paper like by hand at work, it's because I'm coming up with blends of paper for other companies. That's pretty much my job.
All right. So for the sake of this question, let's say 4.
I mean, you could probably eat 100 and you'd be fine. But I'd be more worried about like all the ink that you're eating before I'd be worried about the hemlock in the paper. Because the hemlock, the thing in the hemlock has been cooked out in the pulping process. So really you're only getting the cellulose because it's the oil in the hemlock, and the hemlock leaves is the thing that's actually going to kill you.
Okay.
It's not actually just the cellulose in the paper. So you'll be fine.
Okay, good.
So eat all the paper you want.
So eat all the magazine covers.
I mean, don't. The ink is really bad for you. The coatings are not good for you. Like there is in those. Don't do it.
Don't do it. Bad stuff.
It smells real bad.
I believe that.
It smells super bad in there. And also I don't like going in the compositing place because there's just knives flying everywhere. Like I have to have my hair tied back like really tightly because there's knives everywhere. Like I can't go.
Why are there knives?
Because that's how stuff is cut. And the knives are just like they're flying everywhere. And just like in the warehouse, it's all like automated. So like all of the automated like little trolley dudes are just like driving around all over the place, and they don't know where humans are. They don't care where you are because they're robots. There's robots driving everywhere and there's knives flying everywhere. And I'm just like, ah! So I don't like going in there. If I don't have to go in there, I'm not going to.
It's like straight up Edge of Tomorrow going on in there. Stick and move, Orchid. Stick and move. Okay.
It's very scary.
All right. Well, now we'll get into the final 5 questions. So these are the
Okay.
final 5 questions that I ask every podcast guest, and
Oh,
they range from irrelevant to irreverent. First two are
okay.
always the same, last three have a theme. So,
Oh.
question number 1, coffee or tea?
I like pumpkin spice latte, but mostly
Go,
Chinese
girl.
green tea.
Okay. Is the pumpkin spice, do you keep that strictly for the autumnal season, or is that a
Yes.
year-round thing? Because I do what I want.
No, that is autumnal season because that's the only time I can get it.
Okay.
But I will, towards the end of the season, buy like a bunch of pumpkin spice creamer if I can, because that lasts ages. And then I'll just like buy a bunch of it and I'll hoard it like in my refrigerator and I'll be like, this is mine. And then I'll have it till like May. And I'll be like, yes.
Is it
Because
one
it's
of
like
those?
it's just like good until May.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then I'll
Oh,
just
yeah.
have it.
I was gonna say,
And
is
then
it?
I'll be like, yes. And then I'll have like pumpkin spice, like sort of like generalized flavored coffee until May. So it's not
Good.
good. It's trash, but it's not, it's like, I'm not apologetic of the fact that I have a not good taste and I like it and I'm
I
super basic. I wear
I
Uggs and a polar fleece jacket and I drive a Subaru. So I mean, like, get wrecked, guys. I like scented candles. Off.
I
I'm
have
a
come
white
to
girl.
I
What do you
have come to
want?
accept so many things that I would have my punk rock youth would have been so appalled, or whatever earlier version of me would have just like, ugh, you're such a consumer, such a
I was
conformist,
like this in
whatever,
high
I don't
school.
care.
I've never changed.
Good. Oh yeah. Okay, so any particular tea that you prefer?
I like Mangding Ganlu is my favorite tea, and that is the oldest green tea ever in production in China.
The
It's
weebiness
been
continues.
it's been around for like 3,000 years or something
Oh, really?
from like the same mother plant in the Mengding region. And I know I'm not pronouncing that right because like I told you, my Chinese is garbage. But my like wish is one day there's I get all of my tea from 7 Cups in Arizona because they import all of their tea from like small I wouldn't say like artisanal but like small kind of organic farms in China rather than like the bigger ones.
Okay,
So they
nice.
treat their farmers correctly and their
Mhm.
workers correctly, so it's not like more slave labor.
Big fan
Because
of fair trade.
I have a real big problem with Chinese slave labor. It's a different topic for later.
Okay.
But they do a tea tour every year in about
Nice.
April. And they only take like 10 people,
Okay.
if or if
Really?
not less. Yeah, it's very few people that they'll take, but they go to all these like really small Chinese farms like out in the middle of nowhere, and like you can like meet the farmers and like see their tea houses like out on these mountains and like in like all these different provinces, and it's super cool and I really want to do that one day. And it
Got the
sounds
opportunity.
really dumb, but I want to do that.
No, do
It's
it.
like I
Absolutely
super
do it.
want to do it. It's just like I want to go up into like the mountains of China and like go see these really small like tea houses
Mhm.
and like go see like the mother tree of like all like Chinese tea and like go see how they roast like oolong, and
Mhm. No, it sounds fabulous to
I just
me.
want to be like the weird white girl that does that. I want to go do that.
That is like my biggest fear of traveling, and I don't know what we're gonna do now that we've got kids, but like I would love to do the off the beaten path. I would have to have a guide though. Like I'd have to do like a guided tour of
Hmm.
something,
Yeah.
because I am so deathly afraid of being the stereotypical ugly American. I know I'm going to stick out. I've only been overseas once. And that was for a cousin's wedding, and we went to Ireland and Scotland. So still English speaking, mostly. So, a couple of times the accent, the brogue got to me a little bit, and it was a little difficult for some of
Yeah.
the bar patrons. But even then, like I stepped out into the street, and it was like American, American.
Yeah.
I stuck out pretty bad. So I would love to do one of those cultural or historical tours. I'd have to go as a group, but absolutely. And going to like that far off the beaten road and in a tour group of only like at most 10
Yeah.
people sounds fantastic. to me.
It's a super small group, and it's led by people who are from that area, and it's just they do it every year, and like so they know all the farmers,
Nice.
and they buy tea from them. So like I really want to do it. They didn't do it this past year because of COVID, but they're starting to do them again, and I really want to go.
Okay. All right. So, question number 2 is, we know you play video games, but do you play any tabletop games?
No.
Aw. Not
I'm
your
not
thing?
a tabletop gamer.
Mm.
Everyone's like, "Do you like D&D?" I'm like, "No, I hate it. I hate D&D." And people are like, "Why?" Because I find it really boring.
I can see that. I
Like,
haven't played since the late 90s.
I had really bad experiences playing it in college, and the only time I ever had like a fairly okay experience was with my ex and his friends, and they were all like improv comedians.
Oh boy.
And so it's like a very different experience playing with people who are that creative and that kind of thing.
Gotcha.
So I would not ever want to play it again. And watching other people play it is not enjoyable to me. Even it doesn't matter if it's Critical Role or anything else. Like I would rather like gouge my eyes out with a melon baller.
Okay. All right, so no.
No.
Okay. And
No.
on to the final 3. And the one thing about you that we have not yet discussed on this recording is your love of otters. Yes. There was no way we were going to get through this show without mentioning that. So the last there. Oh boy. So, hi. Does that one have a name?
No.
Okay. Fair enough. So, question number 3. Do you use an OtterBox for your phone?
Yes,
Yes.
I do.
Okay. Good. Question
I
number
use the
4.
OtterBox Defender.
Oh,
It's thinner and I like it, and it's clear, so I can see I have a bear bread sticker and a strawberry milk sticker on the back of my phone. So it's a bear.
I see it.
Strawberry milk. Got it.
Ah, there it is. There it is.
Berry milk.
Yeah. That's so great. So,
lol.
no, the friends at the office who love puns. I'm I need to find a picture of a bear, and I'm gonna grab like a fistful of straws from the cafeteria and be like, strawberry. Get it?
But it has strawberries and then a bear on it.
Okay.
It's really cute.
Question number 4. How many references to otters are there in the room that you are currently in? And for the audio only listeners, Orchid is currently spinning around in her chair, counting all the otters right now. Oh,
12.
12. Okay. And even
But
dozen.
I can see. I might have missed some.
Potentially missed some.
I know I have otter shirts and underwear and socks and the sweatshirts and jammies like in the back.
In the back. Okay.
I'm not going to count those.
Nope. We'll stick
They're
to
not visual. I can't see them.
Cannot confirm them at this.
Can't confirm them. If I can't see them, they don't exist. I'm like an ostrich.
Okay. And finally, question number 5. Soon it will be the Christmas season. So,
Hmm.
do you own a copy of Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas?
I've seen it once,
Okay,
but no, I don't own it.
we'll work on that. I'll see if I can send you something.
Okay.
All right. And that concludes. Oh, got to go to my other screen. There we go. That is all the time we have for this episode. Time for end of show plugs. You can follow me around the internet pretty much anywhere at Hypersyntax. That is HYP3RSINT4X. Or you can follow the podcast directly on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I was supposed to update this section of notes, but no, I did not do that. Okay, anyway.
Oh no.
Oopsie doodles, we'll get there some other time. But I have also started my own Destiny lore videos. I have like 3 scripts waiting to go. Oh yeah, I've got a full, well, I wouldn't say a full, but yeah, I've got several Destiny lore videos. I've been doing mainly recounting and a summary of some of the older books through the lens of what we know now.
That's so exciting.
Yeah, because I mean the
I can't wait
lore,
to see them.
I'll send you a few links.
Send me links.
Absolutely. And of course, first one I did was the Books of Sorrow. I've also done The Forsaken Prince and A Drifter's Gambit. And I have also planned For Every Rose, a Thorn.
I love that.
Yeah, it's a good one. And another Drifter-centric one. Not Inquisition of the Damned. Can't remember offhand, but I've got it. I have like 4 videos like ready to go. I just need to actually record the audio for them.
Mhm.
So yep, that is at youtube.com/c/videogamecrosstalk. And as for my guest Orchid, where can our beautiful listeners follow you around?
You can find me on Twitter at Hey It's Orchid. You can follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Hey It's Orchid. I usually stream Mondays and Thursdays around 7:30 p.m. Pacific, and sometimes on Saturdays if I'm not working insane hours.
Yep.
Because I work weekends a lot. You can also find me on Guardians of Lore and Focus Fire Chat and Destiny Lore audio file. You can find all those on your podcatcher of choice. Spotify is the thing that we tweet out, but you can find me on anywhere, on wherever you can find podcasts.
Got it.
So
awesome.
Yeah.
And finally, if you are a gamer or know a gamer that wants to talk some tech and science news, let me know. Do you know of some tech news you'd like to hear discussed? Do you have any other general questions you'd like to hear answered on the show? Let me know either by responding to one of my socials or use the hashtag AskVGXT. Don't forget to like, review, subscribe, and share this podcast all over your social media accounts, and we can be found on your favorite podcast listening service. Woo! Does this sound rehearsed? Because it is. Anyway...
It's the only way to do it.
It is rehearsed, and I have a script on my other screen. So, one last time, thank you so much for hanging out with us. And Orchid, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me. This is so much fun. I had such a good time. We were all over the place. That was great.
I
loved it.
It's just that's the way podcasts work.
I love it. It's great. That's how it should be.
So good, so good. So, question of the episode, what are your thoughts on NFTs? Is it the inevitable progression of our technologically centric society? And will they be more beneficial or detrimental to the world of gaming and entertainment?
Or are they garbage pit crews that are made by dumb people? And can you just screenshot them and just make them obsolete immediately? Please support your local artists by buying art that's physical that you can put in your house.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with Orchid on this one. Yeah, support your local artist. And a quick shout out to my Patreon Fire Team members, Susan Mays and Leon Rossi. Thank you so much for supporting me. And in the words of David Bowie, I don't know where I'm going from here, but I promise it won't be boring. Bye.